Welcome to 1111 True Crime. We are back and back stronger than ever. We're covering the Jay Slater case today. Deep dive. Oh yeah, so let's talk about things. Before we get into Jay Slater, we have a set change. I am bringing out my colors now. We have a new studio. And I'm excited. It's a lot of work, and I have busted my behind, but I think I did okay. These are my paintings. If you're into painting or art, please check out my new channel. It's called Paradox Painting, and it's going really well. Okay, Jay Slater. While I finished all this, while I worked on this, I had a lot of time on my mind. And I was all about the Jay Slater case. So as I painted, especially this I'm learning purplish blue color really reminded me of Jay because blue's his color. So I was like, why is Lucky the only thing I can think about? Is he thinking about me? Because Mama D don't want to be thinking about Lucky. I don't want him rent-free in my brain. But I decided if I'm going to think about Lucky, I'm going to really think about Lucky. And what I think about Lucky is that I have come up with what I personally believe. Now you can be the judge of that. I'm going to put my lips are terribly chapped because Mama D talks a lot. Now, not to toot my own horn, I'm on case number 90 something, like 95. And I deep dived them. All right. Never. I started True Crime in 2016 on Steve Avery. That channel is still dedicated to Steve Avery. It's called Rubber Ducky, and it was huge. But let's get into this. Never in another case have I ever had the experience of a searcher turned into this online presence that's demanding, rude, uncouth, the way I have seen Lucky. His ego exceeds any human being, man or woman, that I have ever in my life encountered, including my ex that was, to me, the most egotistical a-hole in the world and is sitting in prison for red rum. Okay? Now, I wasn't married to him when he did all this nonsense. It was years after we were divorced. But let's talk here. So, if you believe, and it's contingent on if you believe that there's foul play, but I do, so I can only share my perspective. And that's what I do here. I share my opinion, and I'll read off and share your opinion that you offer. But everything here is speculation. It's in my humble opinion, and I'm very sus to the maximum sus of Lucky. I was sus of Chris, but I feel he's more like a Mr. Potato Head. And I watched a live where Ahab went to talk about Jay's phone. Perhaps you did too. I meant to grab a copy, but with everything going on, I don't have it. But I assure you, this took place. So Ahab literally was in the middle of a sentence referring to whether Jay's phone was found or whatever. I can't remember the exact words. And Lucky was like, controlling him. And Ahab listened like Lucky be the boss. That was the biggest clue I needed. I was like, let me get this straight. So what I'm about to share with you today is a possibility only. It's something that I'm suspicious of. It's something I feel is very likely true, but I have no proof, and everybody's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. This is speculation, and do not throw spaghetti on these walls. They're freshly painted. We'll throw Dawn dish soap on the wall. Hi, David B. No, I knew we were going to get trolls today, and just simply ban them, report them if they do really naughty stuff. But if they're just talking, let them talk. So let's take this in two parts, all right? So there's two parts to Jay Slater's case. There's before and there's after. So tonight, today, wherever you are, as in Duncan, before we get into the two parts, Duncan yet again is back stronger than ever. It was like overnight, he's back up, he's got tons of subs, and make sure and support his new channel. For some reason, it got removed, so go hit him up, give him lots of love. Duncan yet again. Okay, two parts. The before and the after. So today we're not going to talk about the before. Wax has got that covered today. Check him out. He just released a brand new video, like within the hour. Please don't leave me until after we're done. And then go check out Wax. He's our guy too. All right. So let's walk the walk for just a minute. If you're on this idea and you're like, wait a minute, something suspicious with the whole mask thing, the whole J thing, the dogs, not, and I don't even want to hear Luggy's explanation for dogs. I am not trained in any way with dogs, but I have a lot of education through casework. And you can imagine 90-some cases, we have had all kinds of weird things happen with dogs, including searchers being arrested for planting evidence for their own dog to find. It's been wild. I've listened to a lot of actual real life dog handlers that have trained my dogs. I'm no expert. I'm still just a mom at home, but with some knowledge. And the biggest question that all dog handlers that I've asked, when I said that the original dogs, search dogs, did not pick up on Jay's scent from his last known location, reported location. Let's leave it at that. His last reported location to the point, the drop-off point that this person may have fallen until after the body was allegedly helicoptered up. Every single one of the dog handlers said, oh, well, that makes perfect sense. And I asked three. They all said that it's highly probable and likely that when they airlifted that body up, that the scent spread absolutely everywhere in the area, including your own lungs. And that there would be no definite idea if the dogs were on a direct path or not. They would just be alerting. And I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. A lot. And I asked, how long would they have to wait for that to settle down? And they said, there's no way to know. You would need to know the weather, the climate, the wind, what direction the wind had been blowing, if the weather changed, if it rained, what the terrain was. But they all said, if they had to guess just randomly, that they would have given it 48 to 72 hours before allowing the dogs back, and preferably a week. And that's that was really informative to me. And so I'm like, okay, all right, I'm going to filter all that in. And I am on the board that there's a high probability and possibility, in my humble opinion, that Jay's body was not returned until the night that the dogs, not dogs, sorry, I got dogs on my brain, that the night that the DTR was there on that Sunday night, the game night, or Saturday night, Sunday night, the game night, right? When all the goats went neigh neigh and the chickens went, quack. They don't do quack quack, do they? We'll call them ducks. The cockadoodle-doos were out there, right? The cockatoos. You can definitely hear the cockatoos. And the goats. You hear all this noise and ruckus. Now, there's no way in a million billion years that in the terrain of the Masca Mountains that they're going to be doing a search at that time. There's no way. Think of all the other cases from Delphi to Harmony Montgomery. Any missing persons case, it gets dark, they shut it off for everybody's safety till morning. And that's on land that's easy footing. There's no way. So they weren't out there finding Jay through illegal means, if you ask me. But did Jay's body get put there because the GoFundMe, or however the means were, I'm taking my slippers off, had been given over? And it was on the good intent and good faith that Jay would be returned safely. However, these are bad guys. Now here's the thing. The boy's already been reported missing for like 27 days or something at this point, 28, because they haven't found him yet. So now here's the triangulation. If you're the bad guy, right? We're going to play the role of the bad guy so that we can understand the thinking. They've got to be able to put the body in a place that it will absolutely be found. I'm going to use a word you may have heard a searcher used. I'm going to not use a word. I'm going to use a phrase. Bag of bones. So the bad guy will need a place that absolutely Jay will be found so that they can get this deal over with and seal it that it's an accident and get away with the crime. So they have to have a mole. They have to have someone go in that has access to all the locations that they're not going to search again, but yet that they haven't been. So you need an innie. You need a potato head. We've got one. We got a potato head. He's even bald. He's got these little arms, right? Mr. Potato Head. Okay. Now, the facilitator is going to have this potato head work with the authorities. So they need to have an in there too, so that they can understand where to put the body, that it gets found, and that it clears them in a way that they don't have to be like, look what we did. They can get away with it. So that would mean you'd need to get all the other searchers out of there in some manner so that, you can focus. But you'd also have to have that intel, that info of where had not been searched. And we only have 2 individuals that can play that role in the Jay Slater case, or that may have. And that's Crispy and Luggy. Which to me, Luggy's not a searcher because he's online, right? That's all he is an online presence during the entire search. I don't care what buttons he pushed. He alleges he's never been to Tenerife, so his boots never hit the ground. And that's the only way you are a searcher, is if your boots are on the ground. Now, you definitely need to document this in a way that you don't want the searcher, here's where you're going to have to listen close. You don't want the searcher knowing that they're doing that role. They need to legit at first be a searcher. Then you'll get them under your wing and you'll beef them up and you'll be like, you're doing so good. Yes, you're going to get a trophy. You're going to be the hero. So you want to get an insecure potato head that don't know any better. That's going to be like, yeah, they said they've already searched the left, and now we got to search the right, I think. And then you're like, okay, so don't put the body to the left. All right, so we're on the right side now. And I'm wondering if that potato head got hoodwinked. You know, it's hard not to think of him as a potato head, right? Let's get our little pretend puff. That's how he does when he's drunk on camera. Potato head. I could easily manipulate him around my little finger, right? If he didn't know me already and know I'm going to manipulate. You know what I'm saying? He's a simpleton, and a ton at that. But behind it, you really have somebody that is extremely focused beyond finding Jay. You have somebody that is protecting their role, in my opinion, by doing all that work. Ain't gonna be for nothing, because the whole idea of it was to make it look like an accident. So, could that be why we no longer hear from Crispy, who wanted his normal life back because he started smelling the rat? Now let's talk about Lugster. The Lugster, who can control everything, loves the ocean. Well, I've never been to Tenerife. Tenerife, never been there. Never been to Tenerife. I bet the hell you have. I believe that's why you ain't never been to Tenerife. It's said so often, right? Because you probably were at Tenerife. But that's just my guess. Your Lugster's all about boats, right? Vroom vroom boats, not sailboats where you go out and you're like, the sun, it's a beautiful day. But very fast boats, the kind that can move their arse. The kind that, as Duncan's even pointed out, are often used by narcos. In other words, they move it. They move product back and forth. And they're a facilitator. They are absolutely a facilitator. So the question is Luggy a facilitator? And if he is a facilitator, could he have facilitated the body, if you will, through using the searcher who was trying to find Jay? Remember the whole switcheroony when Luggy came into the picture? All of a sudden, Chris was all like, I drank Luggy's Kool-Aid, and Jay walked off the cliff. I know nothing else. He's a bag of bones at the bottom of a cliff. He's a bag of bones. That's Jay. It was an accident. Oh, yeah. And you haven't heard Warren nor Debbie come out and say, Mama D, Wax, Duncan, shut up. Nope. So you have to wonder if they're being quieted. They feel it's easier to let us do the work while they work in the background. Maybe we're doing exactly what they want. Because they're certainly not accident team, are they? Duncan pointed this out. Debbie's like, I didn't see a watch. Not on his wrist. She's like, I don't know. Did somebody else have his phone beside him? She got questions. Warren's calling BS. The hills have eyes. Woo. Yeah. I don't see a shortcut. Do you? Okay. So as Duncan pointed out, we're on the right team here. We're just not getting the vocal. And it's, if you've seen the likes of the Lugster and his Sharknado attack, and all his little cheerleaders, as Duncan refers to him, attack people, it's outright wrong and vicious. It is like, it ain't normal. So, is it possible that Lugster was a facilitator working through Crispy, who was just the potato head out there looking around at that pine tree out in the middle of nowhere? That's a man trap. Like he said so. It's a man trap. Yeah, you follow orders, don't you? Because you're a follower. Just what Luggy needed was a follower. Luggy's a hero. He's my hero. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen that cartoon where there's a big dog and there's a little tiny dog? And at first the big dog's the hero and he's like, yeah. And then later the little dog comes up, yep. There you go. Luggy's my hero. Yeah, okay, well, I never heard anybody use the word hero so damn much as Luggy. Brad's my hero. Y'all don't even know what a hero is. So, hold on, I'm going to fix chat so I can come on top side with you. If this really happened in the way that I suspect, I'm going to take a preponderous I'm going to share my hypothetical opinion is that Lugster may have used Crispy the potato head without Crispy being aware of it in the beginning to facilitate where to place the BODY, when to place the BODY. Oh yeah. And makes sense that it would be put where it was, because that would be the easiest route from the dock in Masca to come up from the bottom, as we've all guessed, and put the body close to a place where the body could have fallen off the cliff. They just guesstimated, but the mistake was putting it 20 meters from the edge. Because even if you propelled your body with everything you had, the Guinness World Record is 18 meters. So are you telling me that Jay was able to thrust himself 9 feet or better, like 10 feet further than the world record? Didn't happen. The dogs didn't track him until after. Because in my humble opinion, the facilitator brought the body up and placed it after the money got paid. And they wanted to make sure that it was found immediately so that it could be ruled an accident. And that is why we have an accident team. But then what do I know? David B., the young fella is dead. Let him rest in peace. Well, lovely, how do you know he's in peace? You don't need to be here. This is for each person to make a choice. If you're here for yourself, that's great. Watch what I have to say. If you're here to cause a problem, you're out the door. I'm here to share my feelings. Quack Quack is singing like a canary, can't help himself, Andrea. Well, I want you to know that I had time in between painting. I would take 5 minutes here and there, and I'd read a few comments because I'm so far behind, especially with the Idaho 4 case. That case is blowing up. Okay, anyway. One of the comments that a lot of you made was Ahab stating Jay came alive, he left alive. Meaning that the theory is that Jay would have been in Masca hiding out with Lucy and the gang. Then when the Ophelia brought 2 men to the door, that being she doesn't have an adult son with his shirt up over his belly hauling a wheelbarrow, is that they were actually collecting Jay. And the reason would be is because Ahab and Rocky, according to Saul, who alleged that Ahab and Rocky stole a watch, we're all thinking that Jay got blamed by Ahab and by Rocky for stealing the watch. The owner of the watch sends out his thugs to collect the watch stealer. In theory, Jay would have sold the watch on Saturday night, and was that Sunday he would have been spiked because they knew, word got around, that they were looking for the British kid and the 2 Mollies that took the watch and were seen together on Saturday night. So the Molly kids, Ahab and Rocky, who were in their almost 40, like 35 years old, blame the little kid that's on his first holiday, aka Jay. Why would the other kids, the frenemies, in my opinion, cover up? Because we've now done our homework and found out that allegedly Lucy works for Potter, and that they have even done contract deals to swindle people out of the business. And so the secret place, which was the weed shop, right, or whatever it's called, the secret, I'd have to look it up, Secret Paradise, that's the shop that allegedly Potter swindled a Jamaican out of, with Lucy, who was known all over Tenerife. This is all alleged by the people that broke into Potter's place. Are the ones alleging this. And yes, it got broke into, his weed shop did, and they filmed it live, or they shared it live. So in the long story, if Lucy's absolutely working for PP, is that who bought the watch? And therefore he didn't want it coming back to him. He didn't want a watch investigation either, especially when he likes all these beautiful watches that don't have boxes. No, you feel me. You ever wonder something like, if you have a collection of very expensive items or very important to you, normally you keep the box. Especially if it's an expensive item like a watch, you keep the box with the watch. But see, PP doesn't need that. He has custom jewelry box made for all his watches. Does it ever make you wonder if it's because he doesn't have the boxes to start with? And you got Quack Quack over there laughing behind Potter on that little video I've showed you probably 5 times where Potter is looking for watches and he's all about watches, and you got Ahab in the background giggling because they're talking about Pink Panther, their friend. And I'm like, yeah, you're the one that wears pink. So it's you they're laughing about. You're the Pink Panther. Ahab's the Pink Panther, the watch thief, right? Pink Panther's a jewelry thief. I mean, I can do the math. I think that's pretty easy. I've seen the cartoon. And in that, he came alive, he left alive. But there's a go-between, because the bad guy ain't going to be the one putting the body back there. Not if Jay was taken by thugs that are working for the boss. It's going to be thugs that are going to be putting the body back. The boss ain't going to be anywhere near that kid, nor have put a finger on him. He will have told them to. And so now you have to think about thug, and then it leads to slug, and then it leads to sluggy, luggy, and then lug. And what does lug mean? To haul dead weight. Just saying. Lord lug worm. Body worm. Lug worm. Kind of like Lord Death. Are you the Undertaker? I'm just asking. Hey, Seeking Justice, good to see you. Hi, Audrey, Prime Candy, Sandy Kelly, Nikki UK, Debbie Gazzardo, Rach Not That Rach, Jennifer Swain, Star Winters, good to see you all. Okay, there's 300 or more of you. I'm not gonna. I love you all. I appreciate your support. I hope you like the new set. It's really dark back here. We're gonna have to fix that. We'll work on it. I can't reach the other. Hold on. I want to see what it looks like with the light on, because I guess it got cloudy. Let's do this. Okay. Did that help at all? Yeah. There it is. It's a lot better. Aw, Sandy Kelly says makes no sense for him to even have an input. Mama D, you look beautiful. Aw, thank you. Who's saying go away, Charlotte? What's Charlotte saying? Charlotte here? Y'all, be careful how you say things, like don't talk about humping or nothing, because then we got to delete your message. David B, I'll do what I want. Kiss my butt. You can sit here and be like, there's no point to talking about conspiracy theories. We all know you're a troll. We're just leaving you here because you haven't broke our guideline, which is, start being derogatory. And it really doesn't matter because you're not going to be able to troll it while it goes out and, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people see it. And everybody in the chat knows you're a troll because they're in here all the time. And we know the game. So you have no strength here. What Prime Candy say? Good point. Prime Candy said, is this the Charlotte that mates with Ahab and Rocky? Who knows? Don't attack anybody. It could be just the name Charlotte could be somebody that just stumbled in. Be careful. Earth Angel is asking if his body was there, the dogs would have found him, in their opinion. Hey, Wheat That Face, good to see you. You say respect to you too. Look, the sun's going down, and it's my source of lighting. I gotta adjust now. Let's try. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Uno momento. I have to use fake sun now because the sun went down. It looks like it's about to rain. Yeah, Charlotte Draco, True Crime 91. Hello, lovely. That's not the same Charlotte, you guys. I told ya. She says, I've watched here for months and was a member. Hi, Sandy Kelly. So let's get into our troll. Let's get into our poll. I said troll. I think it's because I've been looking for trolls to see if they were disrupting, but it's not too much. All right, so there's 300 of you here, and we only have 150 votes, a little over. Get your vote in. What are you waiting on? It's free. All right. If Jay Slater's body was placed in Masca Mountains, who do you feel did it? A, kidnappers. B, frenemies. C, Ab, Rocky, and LK. Or D, Chris and Luggy. If you answered B, frenemies, least popular answer, number 4. If you answered kidnappers, you'd be number 3. If you answered Ab, Rocky, and LK, you got 30%. But the leading answer is Crispy and Luggy at 31%. Majority rules. Dang, these polls never cease to blow my mind. Okay, let's go up and see what Sandy's writing. I'm looking, y'all. I can't see it. So when you're saying good point, I'd love to share the point, but I don't see it. Hey, Pinky Pup, you think A and D coordinated something maybe. Kidnappers and Crispy and Luggy. Oh, in this case, I could see where yeah, Crispy and Luggy's going way up. Are you kidding? 19 likes? That's it? I'm getting out of here, man. No, it has a lot more than that. The poll, ocean deep, right? Red Vic says, I couldn't decide, to be honest. Charlotte says, I spoke to Saul. You did. Oh, I just think the world of Saul for speaking up for Jay. What did you learn from Saul? Hey, B. Smith, good to see you. Good to see you. Rach says, when you voted in the poll, hop on over and hit the like button. Thank you muchly with sprinkles on top. Love you. Thank you, Rach. Saul said, okay, Charlotte is saying, Saul said, TH has been given him death threats for months and others. I'd have to have something more than that. I mean, did you record it? Can you send me a recording of that? I'd have to hear Saul say that. I'm uncomfortable with that. I'm uncomfortable with that. I'm not gonna say it's true. I'd have to hear him say that. Sandy Kelly says, how come they haven't been questioned? And the fact that Luggy is online saying he did it from the UK, how? And why hasn't he been questioned? You cannot be boots on the ground while online. And that's what a searcher is. Yeah, I'm thinking so. We'll find out. You have it in messages? Well, email it to me at rubberducky2005@yahoo.com and then I'll share it. Because that would be incredible. Yeah, I know, Carnival Queen. I'm getting that. I think that's a red herring. Gary didn't know way would they lift a body that had been there for 3 weeks in a body bag up to a helicopter. Exactly, says Sandy Kelly. Maybe Lucky is more related to Brad than they thought. Hey, Paperclip, you said from the start this case was misdirected. Seeking justice. I'd want proof, too, that past behavior predicts future behavior. Just saying. Bo says Charlotte is a known LIAR and a full of BS. I know, Court, sure. I'm seeing it. I don't believe you. I'm sorry, Charlotte. I don't believe it. I would have to see proof. I just can't take a leap of faith like that. Hi, Pinky Pup. You said EP thought you may be trying to bite your tongue? I don't know. Oh, there's somebody here named EP. Oh, Electric Paramedic. Hello, hello. Oh, a clout chaser. Well, there you go. I kind of felt like it was a can of beef, but I wasn't sure. Matthew Reese was unsure, a tricky one. I would have also said none of the above. Okay. Who would you think then? Curious, who would you think? Hey, Colin Waterman. Oops, sorry. Hi, Kate. What did Colin say? Didn't Chris say him and Luggy used walkie-talkies as couldn't get a signal on phones? In which case, Luggy couldn't have been far away from the range of the talkies to connect. Oh, my golly. You get a gold star. You get a gold star. How come they using walkie-talkies? If their phones don't work, then neither would Jay's. And it would put Luggy on the Tenerife. I'm just saying. Okay, Charlotte, I'm sorry, sweetheart, to do this, but you're like running around here just saying the strangest stuff and talking about your channel. And bye-bye. Boom. There be the doll. Satellite walkie-talkies, he will say. Hi, Mary Stevenson. Good to see you, love. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I already kicked her to the door, y'all. Hi, Noble. Good to see ya. Yeah, I just kicked her to the door. Andrea said, well, that escalated quickly. You're welcome. I felt like she was a can of beef. You know, I kind of felt truly like a can of beef there. Rachel Jones, Jay was sat on the ledge, so he must have been placed there. If you fall or push, he could be flat on the floor, so not sat up. Aw, Electric Paramedic, thank you, thank you. Frederick, the boat goes close to Tenerife and circled to get signal. So, after you have really gotten your fill of understanding the personality of Sluggy, do you wonder if somehow, whether he stole it for the weekend or whatever, he may have gotten his hands on the Marupa boat? Even if it was just to be the driver, right? So he's working with because that's the only time that I got so seriously trolled is when the Slugster and the Maraba boat kept being brought together. And then I'd get trolled like today. Like today wasn't as bad because we've learned. Hi, Ellie Stanley. Long time no see. I missed you too. Mary Dalmatians, good to see you too. Hi, Stargate. Stargate Entertainment is here. Hi, Seeking Justice. driver possibly. That's what I'm saying. So then he's the facilitator. He's the driver. He's got to work with the potato head to make sure they know where the body will be found, but not where, like, you have to know where they searched. That's why searchers or actual teams are very cautious with telling everybody where they have searched, because the biggest fear is that somebody's going to come back in and put the body back where they've already searched and it won't be found. In this case, in order to get it ruled as an accident, I believe that they wanted the body found. And so they grabbed the Mr. Potato Head and they were able to then know where had been searched, what had been searched, and it was leaving that one man trap that you could also get up from the bottom so you could facilitate an easy up to the place where Jay was from the beach without too much struggle. Right, I had to kick her to the door. Yes, Shiv sus. Now check this out. Ah, another gold star. Shiv, thank you. I heard this with my own ears. Shiv says, well, Crispy did say, oh, wait. Hold on, I'm gonna pin it. Let me get chat on the board. Okay. Let me fix it. So I want you to be able to see it. Okay. Ooh, you so right, girlfriend. You so right. Crispy did say they, as in Lucky and him, were going to get a boat. Well, he said a boat. We're going to get a boat. Well, wouldn't that have put Lucky in Tenerife? Because he was like, we're going to get a boat, and Chris is with Lucky. But anyway, and go from the beach side if they couldn't get into the B-notch, right? It's all right in front of us. And if Lucky is the facilitator, if we are right on this, if this theory has any truth, it will explain all of his trolling, all of his actions, this whole it's got to be an accident theory because he's put too much time and effort. And trust me, whenever, no matter what it is, that you put a great deal of time and effort into something, you are attached to it. And the more time and effort you put into it, the harder you hold on to that rope. I'm just saying, that's a fact. So, the effort that Lucky must have put in for him to be at this level of holding on to it is incredible. If you do the math, you feel me? Like, you're not gonna care if you have no time or effort invested. You're just like, yeah, right? But the more time I put into something, the more effort I exert to accomplish something, the more I'm attached to a specific outcome. That's human nature. You can look at marriages that have been together for 40 years with the two people don't seem to give a crap or even stand each other. And it's because they put time and effort into it. And they don't want to lose that time and effort. They don't want to lose what they're attached to. Doesn't mean it's healthy or right. So if you look at the effort that Lucky's putting in now, how much time and effort did he put in before? That's the thing. That's the key. I mean, it seriously is key. All right, my lovely Luz. David Hill says, Mama D just had YouTube threaten to ban me again. What's the chances? Love the vids. YouTube, don't do that. Oh, that could be interesting. Fiona Owens is saying also, it was the Coast Guard who had the tip-off of Luggy, in my opinion. Yep, make sure that body got found, right? All right, my beautifuls, I'm just saying this has been I told you, a wild thought, like the facilitator. It makes so much sense why he behaves the way he does. I love you. Let me know what you think of our new set. If you watch, look, the painting has a light that pulses below it, and it makes it look like it's sunrise is happening. I love it. I love our new office. I will see you again soon. Thank you all incredibly much for your beautiful channel support. Go and hit up Duncan yet again. Give him lots of love. Go watch Wax Unfiltered. Give him lots of love. And with that being said, go see Mark. Give him lots of love. No Bull, World Entertainment. Spread the love and the support for Jay Slater. I love you guys. Always will. To the moon and back. Bye, lovely.